You can find our written report on page 140 of the Book of Reports. Despite the gloom and doom headlines of 2012, the Holston Conference Foundation had a wonderful year financially and through our ministry-related activities. We awarded over $250,000 in direct grants and scholarships and distributed almost $7 million back to churches, institutions, and ministries during the year. Even with the record high distributions, we ended 2012 with a new all-time record high of assets under management, over $78 million. Thank you. While many struggle with record low CD rates, and you know what I mean, or zero interest checking accounts or savings accounts, the foundation added many new accounts from churches, cemetery funds, parsonage accounts, scholarships, endowments, and many other special purpose accounts during the year. We're happy to report that during 2012, our Balanced Growth Fund, which is our biggest and most popular investment fund, was up 11.6%. Our Short-Term Income Fund was up 2.1%. Our Intermediate Income Fund was up 4.5%. And our All Equity Growth Fund was up 15.5%. Sure beats the average one-year CD rate as reported by Money Magazine of 0.28%. We are thankful for each new account, each church that reached out and did something a little different. I know that's hard for some of you to do things a little different. But for those churches that did, they're very grateful, and we had a wonderful year for them. You can find our monthly updated reports on financial information on our website. I invite you and your church committee to go check it out, see what we offer. Last year, we added Paul Bowman to our staff as Director of Gift Planning. Paul has been a blessing to me personally, but also brings a new skill set and some enthusiasm to the foundation. He helped us set up a new plan giving website, and many of you may get a thing called the Circuit Rider Dispatch. It's a bi-weekly or bi-monthly e-newsletter that is really getting a lot of attention across the conference. If you've not signed up for that, go over to Harold. There's a sheet you can sign up, or go to our website and sign up. I think you'll find that information worthwhile to you as an individual, but also in your leadership role in the church. We are excited to help churches with plan giving and endowment programming. To help you, we've developed a brochure. I want to also invite you to go to Harold. Go visit all the displays over there, but you'll find a brochure that kind of gives you some options. All churches are not the same. They have different choices. For many churches, the best option is the creation of a formal endowment and plan giving ministry committee. The name of this committee actually changed in the 2012 discipline, and it better clarifies that this is not the creation of an endowment fund, but it's a program of funds within each church. It also clarifies that this is a ministry within the church. The new name is important. If you have an existing document, we want to talk with you about bringing it back up to speed at your charge conference this next fall. We will assist your church with a charter, with training, with marketing, and provide ongoing support. The second option, since all churches aren't the same, is sometimes using an existing committee, trustees or a finance committee, and we'll come and work with you in that case too. We'll help you steward the existing funds that you have and give you options for spending, actually using the funds to the best benefit of your church or ministry. Option 3 is simply calling the foundation. We'll come and we'll do it all. We'll do documents, we'll do workshops, we'll help you with marketing, we'll create brochures, we'll even visit it with individuals that are interested in doing something for your church or ministry. No matter the option, we will assist your church or you as an individual imagine and plan for a better tomorrow. The foundation is proud to continue our stewardship training initiatives for pastors through Bill Kilday. We're working with the conference stewardship team. For the first time ever, we were able to bring Dr. Michael Reeves here to Holston instead of sending our trainees to Texas. This happened this past February. Besides 17 Holston pastors, we also had guests from the General Board and from the Oklahoma Conference Foundation who heard about the successes that we have here in Holston, and they want to try to duplicate that in other places. Over 110 Holston Conference pastors have now been trained in this stewardship and administrative training, and we're looking forward to follow-up training this fall in September as our graduates gather. We're looking forward to this training again next March, and also having Dr. Reeves as part of Convocation 2014. I'm in my 14th year of service with the foundation. Wow, time flies. While I enjoy preaching and teaching and sharing with churches and committees, my real passion is having a chance to meet with people who love their church or favorite ministry and want to leave a legacy or make a special gift. When I first got involved, Lynn Puett was the president of the foundation board. Sammie was truly a beautiful and powerful woman. She was vice president of the University of Tennessee and previously served as commissioner of the Department of Human Services for the state of Tennessee. Lynn was married to Gene, but she was also in love with her church, Fountain City, where she headed the finance committee. One of my first visits with the foundation was to meet with Sammie, Lynn, and Gene and to assist with a stock gift to create a music endowment in memory of her mother. We visited later. We talked about their love for the church and a gift of real estate to fund a charitable trust and to explore language to potentially include the church in their estate plan. I remember the shock when the phone rang. Lynn was killed by a bus while attending a conference in Texas, just 1 month after our conversation. Last year, Bill and I met with Daniel Ogle and Lee Eigelhart to talk about stewardship opportunities at the church. When I learned that Gene had passed away, a few phone calls later revealed that Gene and Lynn had indeed followed through on their plans, and significant funds were left to help Fountain City, both now and additional funds added to the church's general endowment. Lynn and Gene imagined a better tomorrow, and they left a legacy. Earlier this year, we received a call from Concord, and I was asked to visit with a couple in the church and with Brent and Vicki, and we met in the parlor, and I asked this couple to tell me about themselves and their plans. The Nelsons were born and raised in Meigs County, married and moved to Concord back when it was still the Moonies. Bob worked at Oak Ridge, and Joanne wound up teaching business classes at Farragut High School. They raised their 3 children in the church, and each one participated and loved the youth choir and youth activities. Joanne got a tear in her eye when she shared that her youngest son, Mark, had died of cancer. He may have been in his 40s, but he was still her baby boy. Instead of being bitter, the Nelsons said they realized that their church had helped them raise their 3 children to be successful adults. They gave a $100,000 gift to create an endowment in Mark's memory to help the church's youth choir and programs to include those who could not afford the mission trips and to provide other support. That $100,000 gift will provide $4,000 to $5,000 a year forever. Can you imagine the young lives that will be shaped? Each year, the Foundation Board and our Grants Committee oversee distributions from many of our donor-created endowments. Some distributions are made directly as determined by the donor, and others require application in some form of selection. On May 4th of this year, this group met and spent several hours debating and reviewing applications. Over 31 grants were approved, totaling over $278,000 to a variety of churches and ministries. One special challenge was $50,000 to match individual gifts of $1,000 or more to Imagine No Malaria. There are also 2 challenge grants, $75,000 over 3 years to assist Buffalo Mountain that was destroyed by a flood. It needs all the help it can get, hint, 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 and $50,000 challenge grant that will help us continue the operation of the Grace Orphanage in South Sudan. Imagine the opportunities. Each year we also manage several seminary and higher education scholarships. This year's awards will total about $82,000. One of the smallest awards is $500 and comes from the Robert Fonslow Scholarship. It is funded by his family and goes to a history student at Dobbins Bennett High School in Kingsport. As I was looking through the applications, one from Kyle really stood out. It listed no parents. There was a document from the court attached that certified this young man had no parents. And then I read his letter. Kyle shared this: "My life was born 4 years ago when Mountain View United Methodist Church delivered firewood to my home through the firewood ministry of First Broad Street. I was delivered from a disgustingly unbearable living situation and from an environment that lacked true love. Since then, I have been revealed to a God I once rejected, and now I yearn for wisdom, strength, and the Holy Spirit to work within me to be an imitation of God." Folks, this young man was rescued and is loved and cared for by several church members through a firewood ministry. That's right, isn't it, Danny? Needless to say, Kyle got the scholarship. The young man the year before that got the scholarship forfeited, so he got 2 scholarships. There's family of Robert Fonslow got this letter, and they've been blessed. You see, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the scholarship. It was about changing a life. Imagine the joy. I will continue to pray and appreciate the work of these churches, and I'll pray for this young man. On May 5th this year, we received the news that Steve Sully passed away. Steve was my friend and my pastor. All of our hearts go out to Linda and Patrick on the loss of a husband and a father. I think about all the lives he touched in Townsend and Chattanooga and Knoxville, across the conference, and really across all United Methodism. Steve was a visionary leader and had a real heart for the least, the lost, and the last. Evangelism for him was a 24-hour-a-day job. Last year, Steve finally gave us the blessing to start an endowment and plan giving ministry at Cokesbury. I've been trying for years. They approved the charter in November. Now, it's ironic that one of the very first efforts of this committee will be the creation of the G. Stephen Sully Evangelism Endowment to honor his memory and also continue his work and passion to lead others to a life, a real life, that includes a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. We invite your participation in supporting the creation of this fund. Imagine the impact. Bishop, I'm pleased to share with you that 2013 is off on its way to being a great year. Our balance fund is up 8.5% year to date through the end of May. And at the end of May, we have a new record high in assets, $85 million. Thank you.